Welcome to a new lesson of the Toltec training. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about the installation. The installation is everything that we have around us, is the interpretation that has been built from the internal dialogue. So reality has to be interpreted from the great ego, the great sea of consciousness. Everything has to be brought down to the tonal, from the nahual. Everything comes down to the tonal, and there's a filter for that. Now this filter could be much better, but because of different reasons we're not going to go into right now, it has become what it is today. The world we live today, the situation we live today. So this situation, this system, this reality that is kind of fictitious, but at the same time is very real, that is what we can call the installation. Now, I want to introduce the installation as a form of Toltec training. So this is going to be complex to explain, so please bear with me. But before I go into that, this is a way to introduce something in a broader sense that I consider better than what many Toltec practitioners and teachers introduce as something they teach as the petty tyrant. So let me talk about that first. So the petty tyrant, everybody has in some point of their lives somebody that we are somehow subjugated to. Somebody that is tyrannical to us. Now, at the same time, we ourselves inside of us, part of one of our tonals, if you want, can be the tyrant in the relationship. As we have seen before, we are not composed of one energy or one consciousness. We are a combination of two or even more consciousness or energies. And so one of those personalities, one of those entities, that is us, can be the tyrant in the relationship. So in Toltec training, the Toltec, as we have discussed before also, the word Toltec means constructive. It's basically having a constructive mindset. Now from the Toltec line, we like to understand things as a construction. Everything that you have in your life, everything that you are experiencing, even the worst things that you could be facing in this moment, all of that is there not to screw with you. It's not there to mess with you. It's there to shape your spirit, your character, your consciousness. That is the Toltec approach. That is the constructive approach to any installation in place. For this Toltec training, I want you to approach your current installation, your current situation, as an opportunity for shaping your spirit, your reality, your body, your consciousness. Everything about you is in face of an opportunity to improve itself with the situation that you are facing currently. Some circles teach about the petty tyrant as a very important lesson. I like to not focus so much on the petty tyrant and on the way that other teachers teach Toltec training, because I like to find my way. So like I was saying, the petty tyrant can be somebody that is inside of you. And so the way you train to become more flexible and tolerant to this inner tyrant inside of you is finding a tyrant outside of you, which is not hard at all to find. So this is again how we approach consciously and constructively to any external situation, to any installation that is presented to us externally. Now, always keep in mind that the goal here is to become free of tyranny. That is always the goal. That is what we always want. But the path to get there is not always to just find an immediate way to get free from the tyrant. Because you can get free from an external tyrant, but you will always carry your internal tyrant. And if you haven't trained and grown strength to resisting this internal dialogue that might have a tone of tyranny in it, which then you do improve this by improving the way you talk to yourself, your internal dialogue. There's a lot of work with that throughout the Toltec Training Course. So some Toltec practitioners have actively sought out to find tyrants in their lives. Even if they didn't have anyone, they would find some kind of work, some job, some situation where they would have a very mean boss, and they would take that work for a year or half a year, and this would be part of their training. Because developing the skills to deal with a tyrant eventually leads to a much better ability to deal with your own inner tyrant, your own inner dialogue, your own tyranny. But here is the key to this. You can only succeed in this if you do it consciously, if you do it constructively. That is the switch there. That is the gate that is open. And for many, many things in Toltec training and in life, it's that simple. It makes that big of a difference how you consciously approach something. If you approach it as a victim, as a situation where you have no control over, or if you approach it from a situation where you're choosing to be in the situation and have control of the situation, even though you're not escaping the situation right away. You're choosing to be in the situation, and you're choosing to find your way out of the situation, or a way to be able to withstand the situation without that being something that is negative to you. This is kind of biological, I believe. I found research where regarding diseases, this kind of switch in the mind towards how we are experiencing whatever kind of situation with our body makes the difference in the outcome, the complete difference in the outcome of how we evolve with any situation with the body. If we see it as a burden, or if we see it as an opportunity. So yes, some Toltec practitioners would actually go out and find some tyrant in their lives, and they would actively seek to be in that situation as a part of their training. Now, I think this is a very good thing if you're young and you're wanting to train yourself very well and thoroughly, and you have that possibility. If you don't have in your life an installation that is very demanding on you, very tyrannizing on you, then it's when you go out and seek actively a petty tyrant, as some of these Toltec trainees did. Now, I know that some of you might not be in that very young situation and might be a little bit more ahead in their lives, or might be in a situation where that is where you already have a petty tyrant with you or around you, and so that is how you must approach the situation. You don't need to go find another petty tyrant. You already have one in your life, so you enter that situation consciously and beneficially for you. And you remind yourself that every single thing that you experience can be an opportunity for you to grow, or it can be a burden in your life. So that is the key lesson here for the installation. So I don't like to teach this as the petty tyrant lesson, as you might find in some other teachings, some other books, some other teachers. I like to leave the petty tyrant kind of as part of the installation, because sometimes We really don't need the petty tyrant. Sometimes just the installation alone is a very powerful petty tyrant, and that is something that is becoming more and more so in the modern world that we are living, where governments and institutions are becoming more and more, even the media is becoming more and more a petty tyrant. The algorithm that chooses what you see, the algorithm shapes reality. The AI now is shaping reality in a way that it's telling the content creators what they should be pushing out in a way that it's more divisive, in a way that is more confronting. And that is being fed. So if you have like one view, you can either be pushed on your view very strongly, or you can be shown a very opposite view. And in this, there's of course a mainstream mind-washing, mind-shaping agenda where it is going to try, if you have a very strong view that is not good for the mainstream programming, it is going to try to push you the opposite view with very good evidence and very good opinions about how you are wrong. But this is an example of the tyranny of how there is a kind of a consciousness, or in this case, an egregore. An egregore is an entity that it gets fed from our attention. It's just simply a system that is fed by all the inputs, all the intelligence that we feed it. Hey, where it's not really a living, intelligent, self-conscious entity. It's simply a system that is fed, profoundly fed, it's extensively fed by a lot of inputs, and so it carries out its own agenda, its own programming. So this new egregore of the AI, of the media, of the system, is pushing everyone's minds, the minds of people, the minds of the people that lead institutions, the minds of politicians, the minds of people that shape human thought and human opinion. Every single person is being somehow manipulated by this egregore. So that is something that you want to be very careful of. And that is already a very tyrannical installation that if you become aware of, and that if you step into a position of sovereignty, if you ground yourself to the position of being not movable, if you don't allow yourself to be tyrannized and mind shaped, then you will find the constructive way to face this. You will find the answers to everything. You will be able to filter out everything that you see and you're fed. You will know when the tyrant is tyrannizing you, is telling you lies, is gaslighting you. You will know, and just in knowing, and just in being able to identify the lies comes the power. Because then you can be exposed to that. Obviously, it's not the best ambience. I agree with that. We want to get to a better ambience. I agree with that. But while you get there, just being able to filter out all these things is already a shift in the power. So that is my lesson for the installation. I know that this installation is becoming very, very strong, very powerful, and it has a lot of ways to screw with us. It's not just the mind programming that through the social media, it's also the economy, it's also the changes that are happening in the world. All of that affects us. But in all of that affection, in all of that installation, you will always be able to find spirit showing you the way to shape yourself and to become stronger. And I know that is very demanding. that is extremely demanding. So with that, I wish you that you can navigate these times through the installation, that in a way that it shapes you and it makes you stronger, in a way that it reflects all the things that you can improve in yourself. And when you find that reflection, there's a feedback, there's a happiness, there's an energy, there is a feeling better that comes back to you, even from the most negative situations. When you know you're overcoming a negative situation, internally, that makes you feel good. If we are not learning from the situations, from the teachings that the installation or that spirit gives us through the installation, then we're gonna be very tired. Then we're gonna feel bad. We're gonna feel depressed. And that is then the road to failure, to disease, to quitting, and to very bad corners in life. Only when you know you're making it, that you're pushing through, that you're understanding, and that you're getting better and getting stronger, is when you feel better and when you actually push through whatever situation. And this, of course, is very difficult in a consumerist installation where everything we're just supposed to do some type of ritual and some type of prayer and say, oh, I'm not getting enough money, this is not working for me. We think that is magic and we think that is spirituality. You will learn the hard way that it's not. You will learn the hard way that there is a lot more that you can grow, and there is a lot more that you should strengthen yourself to face not just your immediate future, but your coming death. So you better prepare for that. We must prepare for our coming deaths. We have been brought to a very weak situation, to a very weak point. So we want to be finding all of these situations that are showing us where do we need to work, where can we improve so that we get stronger. And I guarantee you, that is what is going to make you feel better. And eventually, way down the road, you will see the harvest come and you will push through and you will finally get the economy and the situation change so that you're more free and more abundant. So thank you for being with me on this lesson. There's a lot more lessons being prepared for the Toltec training. There's going to be a lot of body work coming, so please don't be impatient. This takes a lot of work, just the editing and the recording and the preparation. Toltec training is not a quick course, it's a lifetime dedication. This is going to give you a kickstart on it, but it's going to take all of our lives to really get somewhere. Thank you for being with me.